This is my pass-off for Lab 4, controlling an actuator, or specifically this motor with a wheel on it, with a Raspberry Pi. As you can see, my setup is pretty bare. I have my Raspberry Pi, and I have some GPIO pins, namely 17 and 24, for controlling the direction of the wheel, and number 4 for starting or stopping the wheel, and then GPIO 18, which is controlling the PWM signal to the H bridge. I also have a power supply here at 12.3 volts to actually supply the necessary voltage to the motor so that it can run. As you can see, I have my Python script right here. If I start that, you can see that it asks for any key to start, which just means that the motor is now enabled, but no directions are specifically stated. I have it in default to have both AN pins at 0 so that this motor doesn't move at all. But if I go ahead and I hit L and I say enter, you can see that my motor is spinning to the left. You can see that I have another prompt right here. So if I go ahead and I press R, and then I'll hit enter, you'll see right now my motor changes direction. And I can go back and forth like this, so I have L queued up, and as soon as I hit enter, it changes the other way. And then I've added a functionality that if I hit Q in my script, my sensor will stop. So that was the Python script for my sensor. This is the bash script that will cause my motor to run from the Raspberry Pi. As you can see, I have some GPIO commands. I set the pulse width modulation speed to 350. I enable the signal on the H bridge by setting my GPIO 4 pin to 1, and then since 17 and 24 actually control the direction of the motor and I want it to spin, I have set them to different directions. So I'll go ahead and cue that up in the terminal right here and grab my motor with my hand, and as soon as I hit enter, you can see that the bash script has caused my motor to run. For the pass-off, to show that I have a website controlling my motor, you'll see that I have it wedged here between my laptop and a breadboard, and that's to ensure that I can use one hand for filming and one hand for controlling the website, which is right over here. You can see that I have a simple console, one that controls speed, another one that controls power, so whether I'm starting it or stopping it, and then another console that shows direction controls. And this is equivalent to these scripts I have here in the CGI bin directory for my Apache server. So you can see that I have a script for making the motor go left or going right. This is an old artifact script, or setting the speed, or starting or stopping it. There are probably other more compact ways. I could probably have just parsed URL parameters and done it in one big script, but this seemed the most straightforward at the time. So as indicated by the labels of this panel, I have something to control the speed of my motor. So if I wanted this to start at a nice, easy 350, I can go ahead and click apply, which means that the speed is set to 350. But you'll notice the motor isn't going, and that is because the motor is stopped. But if I go ahead and I click start, you can probably hear it. I'll just show it. My motor is spinning. Oh, and he's about to escape. We're going to try and do this quickly. If I go ahead and I click stop, the motor should stop. And as you can see, my motor has stopped. I'll go ahead, put it upright, and wedge it with my breadboard. Let's see. That's probably the best we're going to get it. Okay, going back. So I can start it again with this button. We can see it's going. If I click on stop, it stops. Okay. While it's going, I'll go ahead and click on left, and you'll see that the motor switched directions and is now running to the left. And if I click on the corresponding right button, you can see my motor will change direction. Now finally, for the speed control panel, I can make my motor go slower if I think 350 is too fast. I'll go ahead and click apply, and you can see that my motor has slowed down. But we'll go ahead and queue up a faster speed, like 500. And I'll have my cursor on the apply button. When I go ahead and click apply, you can see that it sped up significantly. I'll go ahead and stop that now. And that was me controlling the motor through the website.